and welcome again to the Angelic Troublemakers. I'm your host, Alan Jones, and on today's program, dirty politics equals dirty streets, dirty San Francisco streets. I'm bringing you this program today based on events that happened this week. And starting Monday night, I was at a mayor's forum in the Southeast, held at the Southeast Community Facility in the Bayview. And might I say, this is getting real interesting. I'm happy to say that the moderator did choose to bring up my proposition. The Good Neighbor Coalition and Proposition I. Now, of course, if you look at our website, goodneighborcoalition.org, you will find all the information you need to know about this ballot measure for June 5, 2018. Well, backing up a bit, I had what's the word? The voters pamphlet mailed to me this week, and our website was misspelled. Now, it was a printing error that I'm partially to blame for, but that's the way it goes. goodneighborcoalition.org. I spelled neighbor with two O's. I think I was thinking of neighborhood. Anyway, when I corrected it, I didn't realize they had already printed a copy of the misspelled version. And so in the voters pamphlet, if you see two O's in neighbor or Good Neighbor Coalition, the word neighbor has only one O. Now, that was minor compared to the Southeast Center where they had the mayor's forum. There were seven candidates there. London Breed was not among them. And the moderator did the best he could. Quite frankly, I think he did a really good job. But the issue came down to the fact that he asked the candidates a question, which was the last question of the night. And it was, do you agree that, or do you oppose sports teams walking out on public debt, which is part of Proposition I? And so he followed up, do you support or oppose Proposition I? Now, only 3 of the 7 candidates were allowed to, based on the forum and how it went, answer the question. I almost forgot the question when they started answering. Now, the first candidate was Amy Farrell Weiss, who's running for mayor, and this is the second time, and she has an awful lot of people who support her. And in this situation, she was posed the question, do you support or oppose Proposition I? Well, she went on this little old, and now you only had a minute, but she went on this little old thing about reparations for Oakland based on the Warriors coming over here. Well, that's not part of the question, but that was her answer. The next one was a Ellen Yaus. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but that evening, she basically stole the show. She was funny. She was defiant. She was taking no mess. She basically was talking about City Hall corruption. Well, if you look at Proposition I, you will find out that this ballot measure is about City Hall corruption. And if you notice on our website, I have a link here for an article, and it talks about Warriors' empty gesture. They have this new beautiful logo commemorating Oakland, if you can see right there. But the article describes, hey, yeah, this is nice, but you owe us $40 million. Why don't you pay your bill before you split town? That's what this measure is about. And the fact that there's corruption involved is clear to most people, but when the candidate had an opportunity to answer the question, what she did was she talked about, well, I don't know the issue. Sorry, folks, I'm having a problem with my equipment. But the fact that she had answered the question with, well, I'm a mom, I'm busy, and this, and I don't have any time for sports. Well, that had nothing to do with the answering of the question. She could have said one way or another, but she was on the fence. You can't stay on the fence if all you're saying is you are against City Hall corruption, and then you won't even take a position on a corruption type ballot measure. Then we came to Angela Alioto. Now this one was a real pip. Angela Alioto answered the question best. However, when she says she's voting no, she started off by calling them the San Francisco Warriors, because the ballot measure was based on the scam that brought the Warriors from Oakland to building a new arena here in San Francisco. So she called them the San Francisco Warriors. They were here first, blah, 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 blah. It's a shame that we lost the 49ers, but I'm voting no on I. Well, first of all, the fact that they're coming home, that's not the ballot measure. The ballot measure is, do you agree with the politics that brought them here? That's the ballot measure. But she was willing to, I don't care about that, just bring them on. Well, then there's a little something else that she forgot to mention. In the voters' pamphlet, because I knew that this would happen, I put in the voters' pamphlet 2 months ago, which is now in your mailbox, the story on why the Warriors left San Francisco in the first place. The reason: Angela Alioto's father, Joseph Alioto, mayor of San Francisco from 68 to 75, in 1971, during what was known as, in his mayoralship, the biggest building boom in the history of San Francisco. Well, he reneged on a bond measure to build the Warriors an arena in San Francisco. And so the owner at the time, Franklin Muley, said, the writing's on the wall. And San Francisco, who never supported the Warriors, that's including in their first 6 years, they went to the finals twice with the lowest attendance in the whole NBA. And then the final blow was San Francisco wouldn't build the Warriors a San Francisco arena. So of course he had to leave. After that reversal, he changed the name and, all kind of other stuff. How the name got to be Golden State instead of Oakland, that's another story for another time. But the fact of the matter is Angela Alioto bragged about the San Francisco 49ers at this event, but she did not mention the fact that her father is credited with sending the Warriors out of town when they were San Francisco Warriors. So this type of politics is dirty. And so when you look at the dirty streets, what I was trying to pull up on my computer was, I have some photographs of some dirty streets in San Francisco, and I'm telling you, it's a mess. But the fact is, there is a correlation between the dirty politics and the dirty streets of San Francisco. You cannot tell me that all of the top Democrats of San Francisco who want the Warriors here, which is not a sin, but they will not stand up and say, Warriors, you're not treating Oakland right. You should pay your bill before you come over here. Basically, if you're going to treat Oakland like that, once you get your arena here, you're going to treat San Francisco with such disrespect. Where's the proof? Well, if you want to stretch it, the San Francisco 49ers, when they decided to leave the city and go to Santa Clara, they got that $1.3 billion arena in Santa Clara. I can't tell you how many times battles between 49ers and the city of Santa Clara over the fact that they're accusing one or the other of doing something wrong. As God is my witness, the very first thing that the 49ers did when they broke ground building their arena, their stadium in Santa Clara, they sued the school district for $50,000. It was a matter of $50,000 that they were promised, and then when a new administration came in, they wanted to, no, we need this for the schools. Well, the 49ers wasn't having that. And so in building a $1.3 billion stadium, they were crying foul over $50,000. So, add insult to injury, they have been bickering ever since. And they got a 40-year lease over there. So this is going to be 40 years of fighting Santa Clara over money. Well, they deserve one another. But in San Francisco, if we're wise, we're not going to allow the Warriors to come over here and do the same shenanigans that the 49ers are doing in Santa Clara. And the way we do that is we take a stand and say, well, wait a minute. If you are going to stiff the city of Oakland and the county of Alameda for $40 million, it's only a matter of time before you do it here in San Francisco. And with this $1 billion arena, it's not like we can kick you out of town. So the issue is stand up and have a backbone, City Hall. Quit with this dirty politics, because dirty politics is the reason why they're here. And now you're going to continue to sweep dirt under the rug because you will not voice your opposition to the fact that it is wrong for billionaires to leave a city with such a small debt of $40 million when you have so much going on somewhere else. Keep in mind, when the team was purchased by the current ownership group, $450 million. The team is worth $2.6 billion 8 years later. So if you've increased that much value in Oakland, and then you're going to try and stiff Oakland for $40 million? Oh, come on, people. Proposition I is not that difficult. And as I spoke last week or a couple of weeks ago, David Campos of the San Francisco Central or County Central Committee and 29 other Democrats voted against my ballot measure, and he used the excuse we didn't understand the ballot measure. That's it. That's published. But how can you, with a straight face, say you don't understand stiffing somebody for $40 million? It's in the ballot measure. San Francisco's taking a stand. If you vote yes on Proposition I, you will be taking a stand against any professional sports team from just upping and leaving a public debt behind. Oakland is going to have to cut services to make up for that $40 million loss if they don't win in court, which is July, August, in a few months. It's basically an arbitration. But the Warriors are suing to get out of this debt. This is not right. And when we came up with this ballot measure to put our foot down, sports fans, and I'm a big sports fan, it's just that I can't watch sports anymore with all of the racism and political shenanigans. They have taken the joy out of my sports enjoyment. Now, the bright side is, hey, they did all of this secretively for years, and I got 5 Super Bowl rings out of it, 3 World Series championships, and 3 NBA titles. So I'm not trying to be greedy. I'm satisfied with all of that. If the Warriors don't win another championship, I got mine. But for future generations, if we're gonna be here, I'm basically saying This is not how sports should be. And if you have ever heard the term sportsmanship, what the Warriors are doing is unsportsmanlike. There's penalties in all sports called unsportsmanlike conduct. Well, politically, in San Francisco, they're swallowing their whistle. They are just as dirty as they want to be, and people just, hey, they wonder, why is San Francisco streets so dirty? Tourists all over are commenting, I went to San Francisco and the streets were so dirty. They couldn't believe it. They couldn't understand it. Well, the reason, the answer is because our politics are dirty. And if you have dirty politics and you see dirty streets, meaning politics are in the highest places, are dirty, and then you look at the lowest places, the streets, and they're dirty, there is a correlation. Dirty politics equals dirty streets. And I'm saying that in June, we have an opportunity to not sweep more stuff under a rug, though that is with a no vote. We have the opportunity to lift back the official City Hall rug and sweep out the dirty politics. Also, we have, by June 5th's election, the opportunity to open the dirty items that are in the closet, the political closet of City Hall, and clean it out. If you vote yes on Proposition I, that's only the beginning. I said many a times I see racism in the Warriors coming from Oakland to San Francisco. But I see corruption. I see all kind of greed, covetousness. And some people, I mean, honestly, they don't even follow sports. But the ideal of a basketball team, the champs, mind you, come in here, they think it's good. Well, under the certain circumstances, it would be exciting, but not the way it's going on right now. The fact that the late Mayor Ed Lee threatened UCSF with supporting his project, dirty politics. And for us to sit back when UCSF did so much during the AIDS crisis and continues to do remarkable things. And if you get a chance, check out, I can't even remember the title of it, but there is a documentary on the biotech area of Mission Bay and how it started. I have to give kudos and credit to the Honorable Willie L. Brown Jr. and a few others. They really started something out there 20 years ago, and it's fabulous. You'd be surprised on how San Francisco is a leader in medical research and development right here. And politicians, 20 people on a letter, top scientists, signed a letter saying this is not the right place for an arena. 20 people signed a letter, all politicians, saying we think it's, come on over, Warriors, without checking with the community first. They sent that letter. So, the dirty politics, you don't care who's opposed, you'll figure out the details later. You know, there should be some courtesies here. But the fact of the matter is San Francisco, I'm telling you, I am more disgusted with our dirty politics than I am with our dirty streets. And believe me, you, if you've seen some of the pictures that I try to get on the dirty streets, you'll be surprised, because I know you've seen the dirty streets, but these pictures will still shock you. You know, empty garbage cans and trash all out of them, that's nothing compared to the pictures that I have. But the fact of the matter is we need to clean up our streets. But we're kidding ourselves if we can have beautiful streets and think that they're going to last long with dirty politics. It ain't going to happen. And I'm telling you, while I am dedicated to this situation, this vote in June for this ballot measure, I honestly believe I have the backing of God. Now, I have to say, the people who are helping me, they're getting a little nervous, because there's an awful lot of things that are happening that we're not getting respected. You won't hear much about Proposition I. I barely got a question in edgewise, but I'm saying that there are forces working against this proposition in San Francisco. Why? Because if they don't hear me speak on the issue, there's a better chance they can run out the clock and everybody else will be in the dark. But thank God that I believe San Francisco voters are going to read the voters' pamphlet and make the wise decision, just as I do. I read my voters' pamphlet on every issue? No. But I do read them far as the synopsis, and if I'm still confused, I'll read more. And I hope you do the same. Don't just go in there and say, ooh, sports. No. Ooh, sports. Yes. No, I'm asking you. Check it out. Don't take my word for it. Read it yourself. Was it proper that San Francisco, who did not support the Warriors initially, went around grabbing them, saying they were ours first? And the audacity of the Warriors to try and skip out on a $40 million bill should be rebuked at the ballot box. Until next time, God bless.